together. Now, and I want y'all to hear what Jesus just said. And I want you to hear the randomness of the disciples. The disciples all of a sudden say, well, Lord, that you're this time going to restore the kingdom of Israel. Hold it now. Why should that even be a question? And the reason why we're taking the time to go through this is because I need for us to always understand that this is also a sign that the disciples have not lined up with God's will. They still have their own objective. Those of you who have studied the Bible a little bit, you've heard of a group, you've heard of varied groups. You've heard of groups like the Sadducees. You've heard of groups like the Pharisees. You should have heard of a group called the Essenes. And you should have also heard by now the group called the Zealots. Well, a part of Jesus's disciples were zealots. There were people who were wanting and preparing to go to war in order to move Rome out, move Roman tyranny out, to push them out. They wanted to start a massive war. And they were believing the Messiah's objective was to come in and to do that. That's the rulership that they envisioned, that the Messiah would come and drive out everything and anybody that was not connected to Abraham's seed. And so they were looking for his bloodline seed. They were thinking that that was what his objective was going to be. So here they are, even after the resurrection, focusing in on, is it now time to get rid of Pilate? Is it now time to get rid of Caesar? Is it time for us to get rid of Caesar Augustus, Julius, all them folks? Are we time for us to get rid of all these people? Can we get rid of them now? Now that you have been resurrected, because their minds are centered on their objective. And when you begin the process of seeing people, which is one of the things of which I always say, that's why we have to pray for the Holy Spirit to indwell within us and to lead and guide us, is because there's one verse that Jesus says in Gethsemane that the Holy Spirit moves us to. Here it is. Not my will, but thine be done. The objective of the Holy Spirit is to help us to come in line with what God desires for us. Lord have mercy. It's a challenge for us to lose our perspective and our agendas. And so here they are, operating still from the perspective, this is what I want to do. We want the kingdom of Israel to be restored. We want Israel to be put back in the kingdom status. We want to get rid of all this other stuff. And that was not what Jesus was talking about. He said, I need y'all to wait till the Holy Spirit comes and y'all all of a sudden turn the corner. Talking about, hey, isn't that time for you to put Israel back in the kingdom status? Is this the moment? And Jesus does not, in my opinion, does not respond kindly to this. He responds adamantly to this. As he says, it is not for you to know the times or dates the Father has set by his own authority. In essence, don't ask me that. That ain't the agenda right now. That's you on the wrong page. That's God's business. That's God's assignment. God's gonna handle that. God got the time. He got the date already set when he's gonna line stuff up in accordance to the way he wants it to be. It ain't your agenda. It ain't your assignment. That's not where your mind needs to be. Get your mind off of Rome. Get your mind off Israel being back in kingdom status. That ain't where your mind needs to be. He says, but verse 8, but you will receive power. 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 when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, and all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. That's major. That's major when you're able to hear Jesus trying to get their minds off of what they keep wanting to make an assignment for Jesus. And Jesus been trying to tell y'all all this time, that's not my assignment. That's not my objective. And what you fail to realize is the kingdom, of Rome has already been destroyed. It's already been destroyed. I need to find it. I need to find it. I think it's Daniel. Daniel chapter, I think it's chapter 2, but I want to make sure I have it. Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Is it Daniel 3? It's Daniel 2. Okay. If you got your Bibles, go to Daniel 2 real quick. And I want you to remind yourself, Daniel chapter 2, when he has this dream, he could not have it interpreted. But here is Daniel trying to interpret the dream. In verse 31, you looked, O king, and there before you stood a large statue, an enormous dazzling statue, awesome in appearance. The head of the statue is made of pure gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of baked clay. While you were watching, a rock was cut out, but not by human hands. It struck the statue on its feet of iron, and the clay smashed them. Y'all hear that? It struck the feet of iron and the clay and smashed them. And the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were broken to pieces at the same time and became like chaff of a threshing floor in the summer. The wind swept them away without leaving a trace. But the rock that struck the statue became a huge mountain and filled the whole earth. Now, let's give interpretation to that. It was believed that you've had, in that time frame, you had the Babylonians, you had the Medes, the Persians, then you had the Greeks, and then you had the Romans. It's believed that the Romans, based upon our understanding of the statue, is a representation of the clay and the iron. And lo and behold, as you realize, Rome basically consumed liturgies and identities and cultures of all people and became a part of what Rome was. And in and of itself, Rome was in power at the time of the rock. And the rock happened to be, y'all, somebody want to call the name for me? Y'all know it? Jesus. So Jesus is tripping on the disciples who should already know the words of the prophet. You asking me for something that's already happened. The tyranny or the authority of existing cultures has already been destroyed. The rock has already come and smashed it. So you wondering about when something's going to be restored? Brother, it's already in your presence. That which was supposed to destroy my witness can destroy my witness. I still live. And I've gone through death, hell, and the grave and got up with all power in my hands. And now I'm telling, in heaven and earth, I need to specify, in heaven and earth is in my hands. And I now am telling you that you're wondering about what you're going to restore in the earth. God's already given you power And through you, that which is going to happen is there's going to be a large mountain, a huge mountain to evolve, because the word in you is going to go forth. And that's always important for us to understand about the Holy Spirit's job.